Don't you just hate it when you're doing something as generic and mundane as minding your own business on your Windows 98 2nd edition virtual machine, and now you find yourself unable to import any files from your host machine, and it gets really frustrating. So, since you're watching this video, I'll assume that you already know that guest additions don't work for Windows 98. I'll also assume that any kind of physical solutions are not an option because they're just impractical, and let's be honest, who owns a floppy drive anymore? Some of you may have thought of USB because, frankly, Windows 98 does support USB, but not out of the box. So you'd have to get proper drivers installed onto the machine before you could even do anything. And it brings us back to the original problem of getting the files onto the machine. Let alone that it obviously doesn't support all USB sticks and devices, etc. So it would be just really frustrating. What you want to do is network file sharing. You can actually do that between Windows 98 and Windows 10, but it's not that easy. Let's start with network settings. We have to set it to bridged adapter because that way it will have actual connection with our host machine. We don't have to actually do anything with this. It'll just work right away. Once you boot up your machine, you will see something like this, a connect to the internet icon. If you've already went through this process before, the icon will be gone, but fear not, you can always just right-click Internet Explorer, go to Properties, Connections tab, and click Setup. It's basically the same thing. Third option, LAN, next, connect through LAN, next, sure, automatic discovery is good. No, we do not want an email account. Next, finish. Of course, it says access denied, but it's a good thing because it means that we tried to connect and they rejected us because, well, the system and the browser are really outdated, so it's a normal thing. Google.com. Look at this. It works. Let's go back to our host machine and create a folder we want to share. Let's call it share. Why not? It's a good name. Right click, properties, sharing. Advanced sharing, why not? Share this folder, share name share, that's a fair name. Let's go into permissions. Okay, this says everyone, by the way, okay? Just ignore that. My system is in Polish by default. I changed it to English as best as I could, but there's still some leftovers like this one. But basically it's a group called everyone. And we allow it full control. Okay, apply. Okay, should be good. This path is important. This is how we're gonna connect. What you can do now is right-click Network Neighborhood and click Map Network Drive. Select from the list, let's say X for extra coolness. Connect that logon, why not? And path. We need this path right here. Okay. Oh, an error. Cool. Who would have thought? The reason for this is because Windows 10 is deliberately denying the connection to a machine this old for safety reasons. So what you want to do is, this is, again with the translation, turn Windows features on or off. Okay? You want something like this. There it is. Actually, I'll just go into Control Panel. I'll assume you know how to access Control Panel at least. Go to Programs and Features, turn Windows features on or off, and it's the same thing, okay? So, look for SMB 1.0. You want to enable it. That's what Windows 98 is using to share files, basically. Now, we have to restart, so tough luck. Once we are back in, it's still not quite over. You have to right-click Network Neighborhood again, Properties, and primary network logon. You have to change it to Windows logon. And okay, and we have to restart once more. Okay, now if we try it again, with the full name and everything, if it asks for a password that you don't know, like this account has no password set, no matter what I type in, it just doesn't work. So that shouldn't happen. Let's go to settings and network. Sharing options. That's what we want, right? All networks. Enable file sharing for devices that use 40 or 50-bit encryption. That's pretty important. Turn off password protected sharing. Save changes. And let's try it. Access denied. It also works with an IP of your host machine, but if it changes, you want to pick the actual name. Okay. And there we are. Nothing here so far, but it's not a problem. Let's see if it actually works. New text document. Save it. Close it. Let's see. There it is. Works like a charm. Both ways. GTA 2's title.exe is as good an example as anything. It's in my computer, of course. Here. Would you look at that? Whatever we've changed on the host machine, we of course want to change back once we're done, because it's a pretty big security risk. So just copy your files, do whatever, and turn it back off. One thing to note, if it didn't work for you still, you might just want to delete this folder and recreate it again after everything has just been done. And it should work. If it doesn't, I don't know. It's like basically we've done everything there was to do. Thank you for watching.